Thank you, Judge. Before you this morning is case number 25-CR1568, captioned State of Ohio versus Corey Maldonado. Your Honor, we were last before the court on December 30th of 2025. At that time, the defendant pled guilty to one count. It was a charge of assault, a felony of the 5th degree. The felony of the 5th degree is the assault involved the corrections officer at the Lake County Jail. At the time of the plea, you ordered a pre-sentence investigation, a psychological evaluation, and drug and alcohol evaluation. Those reports have been completed and submitted for court review, and also a victim impact statement, which was also submitted. The defendant is present today in court with counsel, Ms. Novotny. The defendant has 102 days credit.
Ms. Novotny, any reason not to go forward with sentencing?
We may go forward, Your Honor.
Anything you want to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, we'd like the court to consider community control sanctions for Mr. Maldonado. With regard to the incident factor, or this case at large, we'd like to acknowledge that there has been mental health issues that Mr. Maldonado has been going on with. I understand that after this whole event, when talking with Mr. Maldonado throughout this whole case, he understands that he needs to continue with counseling and he needs to take his prescriptions as needed, ultimately as prescribed. With that respect, Your Honor, I know he's been having some difficulty in the jail with regard to his prescriptions. He just informed me about his Lamictal that he's been taking. He hasn't had that in over a week, he informed me of. And ultimately his Prosecution that he takes just refilled, but he's been over a month without that at the jail, Your Honor.
What were those drugs?
Lamictal.
He hasn't had that in a week, you said?
In over a week, he informed me of. He informed me that they ran out of his prescription, Your Honor, and he hasn't been refilled yet. So he's been out of that over a week. And then Prosecution.
Prosecution?
Prosecution, I'm sorry. My pronunciation's off.
What's that for?
Nightmares, night terrors.
And you hadn't had that for a while and they just started it, you said?
It's been out since December 20th, the end of December, and they just refilled it like a week or so ago. And I asked them to refill it multiple times.
Okay, go ahead.
So I know those have been two difficulties for him while he's incarcerated. I know since he's been incarcerated, Jamie Dials from Crossroads has been seeing him as well as a colleague for usually every week, just checking in on him and his mental health. That has proven to be good for Corey. He understands that he needs to continue with that. I know throughout his life he's experienced a lot of abuse and trauma, and he does want to address those issues as well. Additionally, Your Honor, he has informed me, and what's also stated in the pre-sentence report, he did complete an anger management in March of 2025. My office tried to gain those records. Unfortunately, we were unsuccessful at this time.
Well, where did you get this anger management counseling?
Crossroads. It was ordered by Cezanne and Ashtabula, and then I moved out here, and when I moved out here, I needed a Lake County address to do the anger management at Crossroads because I was initially going to do it at Signature Health in Ashtabula, but because I came out here, my probation officer Keegan Covell allowed me to do it at Crossroads, and I completed that successfully.
Did you haven't found any records of that?
I wasn't able to receive it in the time.
Well, it's different. You're saying, were you advised there were records, you just weren't able to get them, or?
I weren't able to get them at this time. I don't have them to show you. Otherwise, I would provide it to the court like I do with the letters in advance.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
With that, Your Honor, we're just asking for any leniency to consider community control sanctions. I know Mr. Maldonado does have 2 boys and 1 daughter that ultimately he is co-parenting. We're just asking for any leniency and to consider community control sanctions at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Maldonado, you have the right to address the court before your sentence. You can say anything you like. Is there anything you want to say at this time?
I want to apologize for even being present in front of you today and all the other times. I don't know what came over me like the day that I came in. I just know that I was in like a haze. I was angry at my baby mom because she held my daughter from me for so long.
You don't have to talk about that because that's still a pending case, so I don't want you to say more about it, okay?
Okay. I was just angry that day coming in because of something that had happened and being picked up.
Oh, yeah, is that case pending still?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, don't talk about the
That's
specifics
why.
of that, but, yeah.
Okay.
That's,
And then when they brought me in, I don't know, man. I had like I just kind of like was in a real dark haze at that moment, you know what I mean? And I started to hit my head and stuff like that, and then one thing led to another, and apparently what I did was an assault, and I didn't realize what I was doing was what I don't, you know what I mean?
no, you bit the officer.
I understand that. I understand.
Apparently
That's
that's an assault. That's an assault.
I don't recall much of that moment. Is I guess is where I'm going with it. You know what I mean? I was just in my head, man. I blacked out. I don't know, man. I don't know why. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I wish I could sit here and tell you why I did it, because I'd probably feel better about it, but I don't. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I just know it happened, and I'm sorry for it. And you'll never see me. You'll never see my face again.
Well, I mean, your history here shows you've been on probation and violated, and been on probation and violated. So,
I've never violated. Oh, I violated
Sure you
once.
have.
I violated once.
you violated in 2021. You violated in 2023 with Judge Cezanne. 2 violations there.
That was, yeah, I guess.
You were terminated unsatisfactorily in June, just this past June.
Yeah, I asked them to.
Anything else you want to say?
I'm just sorry. I just wish I could change what happened. So I just wish I could change what happened.
Ms. Devine, anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Naroda for the state.
Judge, as was previously discussed in chambers, the state is recommending to the court community control sanctions with additional jail time, and to address any other programming that the defendant should receive in the jail, and would leave anything thereafter to the discretion of the court.
Mr. Maldonado, at some point you're going to get out of jail. Where are your plans to reside at that point?
I'm going to my mom's,
Where's that?
Conneaut.
Your Honor, if you would like a specific address, I can provide that to the court. He did provide that to me before coming out here.
I mean, I don't need that. Probation will obviously need that
Of course.
at the appropriate time. But this court reviewed the pre-sentence report and investigation, the drug and alcohol evaluation, psychological evaluation. I've considered the facts and circumstances of the offense involved, the nature of the offense. I've also considered everything that's been said here today. Further received several letters in support of the defendant. I've read and taken those into consideration. All of this is considered in light of purposes and principles of felony sentencing set forth in 29-29-11. So the factors in 29-29-12. Nothing stands out factually indicating it's more or less serious. Obviously, it's an assault on corrections officers, which is serious, but it's that's the nature of the charge itself. Nothing else stands out there. As for recidivism factors, the court finds the defendant does have a history of criminal convictions. Starting in 2020. It does appear he was on probation at the time, and Conneaut Municipal Court says he was on 5 years of unsupervised probation starting in June of 24. He has failed in the past to comply with previously imposed sanctions ordered by courts. As I alluded to a little bit ago, he was on probation to Judge Cezanne in Ashtabula County. Probation violation in 2021. One in 2023. He did not successfully complete that probation. While in jail, there's multiple incidents here of disciplinary incidents that occurred, or incidents that occurred that resulted in discipline for the defendant. Those are all factors indicating recidivism is more likely. Nothing indicates that it is less likely. Under 29-13b1, the court finds the defendant caused physical harm to a person. That overrides any presumption for community control. At this point, however, the court will find that prison would not be consistent with the purposes and principles of sentencing. Defendant's amenable to an available community control sanction, so I'm going to give you a chance on community control. I'm not going to put up with the violations, so you're going to have to comply with these rules and conditions. And if you're serious about what you said and wanting to get help, and you got to stop using drugs. If you have mental health issues and you're taking mental health medications, you can't be using drugs also. When I read this report, it indicated that once you were in jail and you started, the drugs got out of your system, you started responding better and doing better with the medications. But it's not going to, but because of the medications, but because of the drugs, the medications aren't going to be able to do what they're supposed to do. So you got to stop using the drugs. I'm going to order the defendant to serve 160 days in jail. He has credit for 102. I'm going to order that he enter as soon as possible the jail treatment program, successfully complete that program. If he does successfully complete the program prior to the expiration of the jail sentence, I'll consider releasing him early at that point, then once his JTP is successfully completed. So Kim or whoever, you guys can just send me a memo. Let me know that he successfully completed it, and advise as to what you want me to do at that point, but or request what you want me to do. You're to follow all aftercare recommendations. I know that immediately when you get out, you're most likely going to go to Ashtabula. I don't know how long that'll take. It could be really quick. They could let you out on a bond. I don't know, but you have to get, once you get out, to immediately start following the aftercare recommendations. Further conditions: you're not to use any drugs or alcohol. You have to submit random urine screens. They have to be negative. A positive screen's a violation. You're not to tamper with the urine samples, provide fake urine, refuse to provide a sample, bring someone else's urine in, anything like that. You're to attend 2 AA meetings a week, get a sponsor. You are to immediately, so if he's out in Ashtabula, he's not going to be able to work with Crossroads, huh? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
They don't have services out there.
Well, you're to immediately get a mental health evaluation as soon as you get out and follow whatever recommendations are for counseling. I also want you to get a psychiatric assessment and follow those recommendations in regards to medication. Take all medications as prescribed. Right, to obtain and maintain, once you get back out and on your feet, full-time employment or education. Full-time basis, you're working, going to school, you're keeping yourself busy. You'd have one doctor and one dentist that could prescribe you medication. If you have a specialist, that's fine too. Probation needs to know who those doctors are that are you're getting prescriptions from. You can only get them from those doctors that they've been made aware of. You can only fill them at one pharmacy too, and they need to know where that is. You're just signing whatever releases they need so that they can contact counselors or doctors if they think that's necessary. Pay court costs and supervision fees. As part of the mental health counseling, I also want you to utilize case management services. So, Kim, is there anything else I should be considering here?
No, you're not.
Mr. Maldonado, do you understand all the conditions of your probation?
Yeah.
Any questions for me?
No.
I need to advise you if you fail to comply with any of these conditions, any of the rules of probation, if you leave Ohio without permission from this court, if you commit another crime while you're on probation, and I'm talking about a new crime. So you resolve Ashtabula however you want, whatever you think is in your best interest. If you think it's best to plead guilty, that's not going to impact your probation here. So don't let that shouldn't factor into your decision that you're going to get in trouble here, because I'm already aware of that. I know about it. So you resolve that however you think is best.
Okay.
But anything new going forward, obviously, if that were to happen, we'll have a hearing to see if you're a probation violator. If it's found that you are, I could extend your probation up to 5 years. I could impose more restrictive sanctions against you, including jail time. Or I could terminate your probation and send you to prison. If I did that, it'd be 12 months in prison, which would be consecutive to any other sentence you could be serving at that time for something else, or that you may be getting sentenced to at that time. You understand all that?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Rhoda, anything else for the record?
Nothing further, Judge.
Ms. Novotny.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you.